All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smark Podcast. We got another week of wrestling talk. I can't believe we do this every week. This is crazy. This is so much work. And we do this all for free for the peoples, all right? So you guys better remember that. All we need you to do is subscribe, though. It's free. We just need you to hit subscribe and watch all our videos all the way through, if you could. But Vlad, the wrestling expert, is here. Thank you for being here again, Vlad. That's 151 episodes in a row.
Oh, Lord.
That's crazy. And Robert also is back. He missed last week. He took a week off. You feeling better, man? We were praying for you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a lot better.
What happened? You had like a flu or something, or some kind of infection?
It was a flu. I don't know. Can't really tell the difference between that and other sicknesses sometimes, but I think it was the flu.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Robert wasn't here last week, and he missed out on our review of Elimination Chamber and Cena's heel turn and all that craziness, although he was the first one who texted us about it, but indirectly. Because he knew me and Vlad were watching it on delay, so he just told us, like, oh, my God, something happened, something went down. No, you said I take back what I say about this WrestleMania build being mid, right? So
That's right.
I'm gonna attach your comments to the end of this episode, so if anyone wants to skip to the end, and you can look at our bookmarks on the YouTube, and I'll blatch it on at the end, and I'll put a bookmark there for your thoughts about it. And he had a conversation with Vlad while I was getting ready for the show. But it's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
All right, another week in the books. Okada is still the champion, the Continental champion. AEW Revolution just happened. So we're recording this at 9:45 on a Sunday, and Revolution ended like 20 minutes ago or less on in Los Angeles, where we're at. So we had a chance to go to this. If it was on a Saturday, we would have gone probably. But I think on a Sunday, we were like, no, we have to do this podcast. This is the time we do this podcast. No, that's not really why, but I had work. Well, I didn't really watch today's show. I'll just tell the peoples that I went to work today. I had a job. I have a job. I can't just watch wrestling all day. I wish this was my job. I'm trying to make it happen. We need more subscribers, man. But yes, I didn't get to watch the show. I had to be at work. But I followed along, and I know the booking. I know what happened, and I know basically I saw some of it, some clips. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the booking as best as we can without having seen it. Should we start with that or no? Because I have an itinerary on our blog post for episode 151. I'm starting with WWE. I'm supposed to be starting with the fallout to Cena attacking Cody, but we could skip around, and since AEW is fresh, we could just jump to AEW and knock that out first. What do you guys think? Should we do that since it's
let's do it. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't see a second of it, so I don't know, and I actually don't even know all of the results, so this will be educational for me, I guess, in a sense.
All right. Well, Robert, did you catch any of it, or did you read results?
I caught all of it.
You watched the whole thing? Oh, my God. All right. So we'll actually get real reviews from Robert. Well, this is good then. It'll be fresh in your mind. We'll do that first then, and then we'll do WWE afterwards. And if we have time, I'll try to do a couple of retro watch-alongs of some short clips if we could. But we'll see. We're on 1996 WWF also we've been doing, and that's been getting some good amount of views for our channel. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed. We wish your family lifelong health. Okay. And all right, so let's get started with AEW then. All right, so I'm going to skip past everything I was going to do for WWF. We'll go back to this in a little bit. A lot of good stuff for WWF today. But I'm going to start with MJF and Hangman Page, because that's the only thing from Dynamite that I wanted to mention is our review of the Hangman Page almost getting burned alive by MJF, right? So this is our review to Dynamite. The link is in the description below. We did a storyline by storyline, thumbs up, thumbs down review, and this is our review for the segment where Hangman Page, I want to show a couple clips from this because I thought this segment was really good, and I think you guys, what were your reviews on this? Let me see. I gave it a fire rating. Vlad gave it a thumbs up. Robert gave it 2 thumbs up. So Robert really liked it, but I want to go through some of it. I have some images cut out for you guys. So let me jump to my Dynamite bookmarks And let me take off this picture of Okada and put this on the big screen for you guys to show you. There it is. All right. And the Okada picture, we'll take that off for now. We'll get back to Okada in a minute. We'll give you guys an update. But here's MJF. So the storyline started off with MJF hanging out in the parking lot and waiting for Hangman, right? So these two have been having a pretty vicious feud. I think MJF has been trying to live up to Hangman's craziness. You know what I mean? He's trying to be like, you know what? If you think you could be crazy, I could be fucking crazier. Whatever the situation calls for, MJF thinks he can be the best at it because he's the best in the world, and he's better than you, right? He's better than everyone, and they know it. So later in the show, he's still in the parking lot, and Hangman comes up, and MJF runs away, right? So this was like a ruse because he had someone like waiting who was dressed as MJF. You guys remember this? Like Hangman grabbed a guy and he brought him into the arena, and this guy, I thought he was a great actor. Like this was the actor of the week for me. He's screaming like with his eyes wide, "He made me do it! He made me do it!" You know, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? If he's working for MJF, he's a great actor. I hope he's like an indie wrestler. I'm interested to find out if anything comes of that. So I thought that was a great cameo, first of all, and I thought it was a cool trick. So he looks at him, he's like, that's not MJF. The people in the crowd are like, what the fuck? And MJF grabs him from behind, and the shirt, MJF did nothing wrong. That's a good one. I would buy that one. And he nails him with the Dynamite diamond ring, and then he says, you think Hangman can be crazy and burn people alive? And then he was about to do it. He puts lighter fluid on him, and he was going to burn him alive. I guess. And then this is the first time in history I've ever seen like security actually come out with a sense of urgency and actually try to stop. It looked like they put all their force, like, you know, like it made sense, like the situation called for, you know, like this guy's gonna kill this guy, get in there and stop him. So but they never do that. This is literally the only time in my life I've ever seen this. So all right. That's. I mean, I thought that was a good match, a good segment, a good storyline. If you guys don't have any comments about that, I'm gonna skip to the Hangman MJF match from Revolution. What do you guys think?
So, just one quick comment. I did realize this. I do have to disagree with one of your takes, though. You said that guy, that MJF lookalike, was the best actor of the week. I would have to give that title to Bianca and Naomi. Personally. But he can have third place. I'll give him third place.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Good point. All right, Vlad, anything from you before we move on to what actually happened on Revolution?
I'll also try to be quick. It was a ridiculous segment. Was it entertaining? Yeah, but come on, dude, setting a guy on fire. The only reason I gave it a thumbs up is it was entertaining. And yes, WWE in the past has been guilty of stupid stuff like this too, so I can't specifically say this is just an AEW problem, but yeah, you're not going to fucking set a guy on fire on TV, okay? That's just not going to happen in any... So the realism goes out the window.
I mean, it's happened before. Jack Perry got set on fire, so I would have believed it, but okay. All right, let me move. I get your point.
Unfortunately, he didn't stay on fire, but...
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. This is all in good fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a joke, yeah.
All right. Well, let me take this TV off and let me go back. So I'm going to jump to our Revolution. Well, this is going to be our Revolution review, but for right now, we just have results. And let me see. Oh, this isn't even a hyperlink. Go to page. All right. So we got results. So this was the first match of the night. Hangman Page versus MJF. And Hangman defeats MJF, and this is the only match of the night that I actually pulled a clip for because it was earlier in the night, so I had time while I was at work to download this, and there's no reviews. Okay, so let me just pull up the TV again, and let's see what we got for this one. I need some bumper music for when I play music, so it gives me, or when I play a video. All right. Hangman Page and MJF. All right, so basically they had a long, hard fight, and Robert saw this. Vlad says he didn't see anything from it. Yeah. And I think MJF had Hangman, as far as I could tell, out for a 10 count, and Hangman beat the 10 count. And this frustrated frustrated MJF. Sorry. And this is where MJF kind of lost his focus. And he started screaming, why not me? Right? Why him? Why not me? Like, he was starting to break down, like, why is everyone love? I think he was trying to say, like, why does everyone love Hangman? Why is he the face of the company? Why is he the man? Why does he get to be the man? And then
what?
He goes,
Yeah.
That's idiocy, complete idiocy. Nobody thinks that Hangman Page is the face of the company.
well, apparently Tony Khan does, because Hangman's going to win this match clean. And that's the thing I want to get comments from y'all about. So here's how the ending happened, Vlad. It was a heat seeker. So MJF was going to go for another move, and Hangman didn't let him do it. He kind of like overpowered him and held him up and walked into the ring with him. It's pretty, impressive, strength-wise, I guess. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
And then he gives him the Dead Eye? Is that called?
Dead Eye.
Yeah.
The Dead Eye. And then he get Christopher Daniels tribute, the Angel's Wings. I don't know if you remember this move from TNA, Vlad, but dumps MJF right on his head. Boom, right in his fucking face.
Wow, that one actually looked like it hurt a little.
Yeah, and then they milked it for a while. He's like, I got him. And then he looks at him and all that, and he buckshot lariats his ass and pins him 1, 2, 3. So MJF with the win. I consider that pretty clean, right, Robert? I didn't miss anything.
Hangman for the win.
I'm sorry, Hangman with the win. Clean win.
So ridiculous.
All right, well, Robert, for you first, since you actually watched the entirety of the match, here's the Crypto.com arena to right after MJF loses to Hangman Page. Robert, go ahead.
Right. So the match was really, really good. Now the result itself was a little surprising. It makes me think that this isn't gonna be the end of their feud, because the way I see it, MJF should be the one that should be contending for the title. I don't know. It seemed like that was, the projection for his 2025 is he would go after the title. So why lose to Hangman? I'm not sure. I'm assuming they're going to continue this feud, and then eventually MJF will go over. So that being said, I was a little surprised by the result, but it was entertaining regardless.
Do you have a review you could give it on our rating system, our Malapert Smark review system?
Ooh. I want to give it 2 thumbs up, but I'll give it just 1, just because I was surprised by the result. I thought MJF was going to go over on this one.
All right, thumbs up from Robert. I'm going to update the review sheet right now while I get comments from Vlad. So Vlad, You didn't see it, but you're knowledgeable enough on wrestling to just comment based on the booking and stuff.
Exactly.
So what do you think?
Well, right, as you said, I can't comment on the match quality or if I would have enjoyed it or not. But I can comment on the booking. I don't get it. I don't understand it well. I'm not a Hangman fan. I don't really see much there. I think he has a good look, but he's not really a captivating character to me. And there's only really a handful, or if that, in AEW that are. And the one main one is MJF, who they really should be pushing. But if Robert is right that this is just like the beginning of a feud, fine. That's fine. And MJF goes over at the end, okay. But as Kehan said, this is Tony Khan, and maybe he thinks Adam is the man in this company. I don't know what Tony Khan thinks. So, yeah, hard to say, but obviously surprised with the result.
I think that's definitely what it is. I think that was a lot of what MJF's emotion coming out when he was yelling, "Why not me? Why not me? Why him?"
Well, it was so ridiculous because why would he even care? First of all, he shouldn't even care about that stuff. He never did before. So
he cares. He's a competitive guy. He doesn't want to show up to the arena and get told, "Hey, Hangman's going over." What the hell do you mean Hangman's going over? Clean too.
Oh, I thought we were keeping kayfabe. No, okay. I thought we meant it in character. Why would his character care? Yes, obviously, I'm sure he cares that he lost the match and that he was told that he was going to the match. But I'm not going to even talk about that part of it. I thought we were just like keeping kayfabe in the sense of like Why would his character care so much when he's a dastardly heel?
His character cares. He's obviously showed throughout, even kayfabe wise, he's showed that his character cares about the fans liking him. He actually does care. You know, that's why he's a mean asshole and all that. But regardless of that, in real life, I do think Tony Khan is putting Hangman. But what I don't get about that, like, I'm okay with that. I'm like, that's fine. Like, to me, I like Hangman. Unlike you, I think he's fantastic.
Well,
that being said, even if I say that, Hangman Page was booked to lose to Jay White twice in a row last year.
True. That's true.
And a lot of other bullshit losses where it was like, what the fuck are you doing with Hangman Page? And that was a period where I didn't know what the fuck was going on with that. You know what I mean? He seems like a loyalist. He seems like a guy that it could never leave. So if you are going to push someone and make them like a champion, I would make it him but that's what confuses me about the booking. It's like, okay, if you're saying Hangman's the man, then why'd you make him lose to Jay White twice clean last year? Like, it just, I don't know. That's why, like, I think MJF needed the win more. MJF is on the way back. He's on the way up, trying to get back into the title scene. He got his ass whooped by Adam Cole's crew at the end of that feud and looked like shit. And then again, now loses to Hangman Page clean after a nervous breakdown. So I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of character arc that they're trying to work here or something, but I don't know. Okay.
What is he, Raven? What about me?
I'm as big a Hangman Page fan as anybody, but even I'm confused by this. I don't agree with it. I think MJF needed the win more, and I think Hangman has shown that he can take the loss.
Sorry, guys, I can't hear you.
All right.
Log out and log back in.
Go ahead. As we wait for Robert to log out and log back in, I guess he has an audio issue sometimes. Let's go ahead and move along to the second storyline of the day, and hopefully Robert will be back. We'll just run through the results. I don't have any more clips, and I don't really want to talk much about anything else in detail, honestly. But Mercedes Moné retains the TBS title against the International Women's Cup winner, which was Momo Watanabe. So, as I was telling you, Vlad, I mean, there was a video package, and then it seems like Billy Starks was watching from the back, who I'm a big Billy Starks fan, but I understand the people who say she hasn't been on this show. But if, you know, Tony Khan books the show kind of like as if people watch Ring of Honor. Like, there's storylines that come from Ring of Honor into Collision and then leak into Dynamite. That's why people are like, they don't know what's going on in the review. I'm like, well, you got to watch all these shows to really know what's going on in Tony Khan's world. But okay, Robert, you're back. Did you have any thoughts on the Mercedes Momo match? Like a quick thought, I guess. We're running through all this as quick as we can. So
okay, I don't really know anything about Momo Watanabe, and I don't know much about this build either. So I'm just judging the match itself. It was fine, nothing too spectacular. So I would probably give this like a Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
A half thumbs up. All right. Well, the only thing I'll say about Momo is that when I saw her in Wrestle Dynasty and when she won that match to win this title shot, she had like a henchwoman who was like a white girl that had a baseball bat. And then that totally disappeared this time. So that was kind of like sad for me that was missing. I thought that was kind of a good little twist that she had to her character. But okay, moving along. Wild Affair sees Swerve win Prince Nana's robe back against Ricochet. Okay. All right. So this was a match to become the number one contender as well to the AEW World title. There was much drama. Right, Robert? As Nana was putting pressure on Swerve to win the match, and then Swerve even pushed him, right? If I was reading this correctly. This is all from... Right. He pushed him, and then Nana got offended and left, but then he came back later in the match. Yeah. He grabbed the robe, and then, you know, that kind of had him being involved in the match, and he was even physically involved, right? Like, he got nailed or something. By Swerve, I think, by accident, something like that. By
accident, correct, yeah.
And then Swerve in the end prevails and wins the match, and then Swerve and Prince Nana celebrate, so they're all good. There will be no end to Prince Nana's career. Okay, Robert, review.
I expected a little more. The drama was good. I expected the match to be a little better. Given who's involved. I'm a fan of both Swerve and Ricochet, so I had higher expectations for this. It didn't really quite live up to it, but it wasn't bad. I'll give this a 1 thumbs up.
Thumbs up from Robert. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, let's move on to the next match. Vlad, whenever you have anything that you are compelled to say about any of the booking here, I know these are story. These are storyline. Oh, I don't have a title for this one, but my title would be Kazuchika Okada retains the most cleanest, purest championship in all of wrestling. The only championship with no interference whatsoever. So I don't even have to really. Yeah, the Continental Championship. Obviously, Robert, I didn't watch the match.
The way you're describing it, I thought it was called the Virgin Championship, but okay. Good.
What? Dude, Okada is not a virgin. With this title, he's getting all the girls. But hey, Robert, no interference, right? Clean match. It was just a regular match. Okada wins the match.
I mean, Okada cheated to win at the end, but...
Hey, don't say that. Moving on.
All right.
What the hell? Kevin's lost his mind.
Moving on. By the way, the Okada picture, we gotta put that back in the corner. My bad. I took it off by accident. So Okada, just so the audience knows, I put the picture of the Continental Champion in the corner at all times on my podcast because we need that. That's the most important champion, the purest champion. You want to fight a real fight? No interference. Don't bring your friends. Just you and me. That's how I tell people when I have a fight. I'm like, dude, okay, fine, just you and me, not me against all your gang and everything, you know? But anyways, moving along. Number 5, the Hurt Syndicate retain against the Outrunners. Okay, so this was a pretty basic match too, I think. Nothing really, nothing really exorbitant or interference-wise. No interference, except Action Andretti and Lio Rush were watching this match. Like, I guess they're going to be the next challengers or something, right?
Good Lord.
Okay. I like the Outrunners. I would have mentioned since this is the week in review, that 80s style music video they did on Wednesday where they were working out and getting ready for this. I thought was really nice. You know, it looked exactly like it was from the 80s, and I thought it was cool. It was straight out of Karate Kid, Vlad. You're a Karate Kid fan, right? Come on. What is your problem with the Outrunners? The Outrunners are cool.
They're goofy. They're goofy.
They're goofy? Dude, come on, man.
Look at them in the picture. They're goofy. Asking me with a straight face if they're goofy. Look at this. Look at these guys. What the hell are you talking about? I'm not going to say any more than that.
All right, let's move along. Robert, did you have a review on that one, or you want to give a thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm gonna give this a 0. Just to be fair, I didn't really pay much attention to this match. It didn't really get my attention. So, just to be fair, I'll give it a 0. But I did like the music video from that they showed at Dynamite, though.
Yes. I saw your good rating on that one. All right, next one. Toni Storm and Mariah May have a Hollywood ending. All right, so this is the big Fall Count Anywhere no disqualification match, right? And Luther accompanied Toni Storm to the ring, it seems. Toni Storm won it, and it was a really violent affair, right, Robert?
Yep.
From what I read. All right. Well, anything you could tell us about it? Because I don't know anything about this one.
So this was a lot more violent and a lot bloodier than I had predicted. There was a lot of blood in this match. Boy, oh boy. But it was not
for both of them.
For both of them, yeah.
Oh man, I wish I had some pictures. Gosh,
more so on Toni Storm. Like I think, I don't know if maybe she bladed a little too much. I'm not sure, but it was like really pouring on for her. Oh, man, this was intense. Very, very intense.
All right. Well, what would you give it on your rating system?
I'll give this a loved it. Okay. This will probably be my favorite match of the.
What the hell? All right.
Let me explain why. There were 3 matches on the card that were like very high intense. Very high intensity. But out of the 3. There were not too many like ridiculous kickouts on this one. You know what I mean? Like it pretty much ended when it should have ended. So, as crazy as this sounds, this was the most realistic out of the three, like, insane matches.
No.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the end of their feud. It looks like it is. Yeah, and I'll personally, this was my match of the night.
All right, cool. Let me move along then. We got a couple more, or I think three more matches. Kenny Omega wins the international title.
Mm-hmm.
Don Callis was there. I don't know if he interfered too much in the match. I don't think he did, according to what I read. A little bit. Okay. So he did interfere. All right. And then Omega wins the match, and he's now the international champion. The rumor I hear is that people in AEW might want to... oh, shit. I got to connect my computer before it dies. But they want to combine the Continental Championship and the International Championship into one title. What do you think of that?
Yeah, okay, well, that automatically means Omega versus Okada. Cool.
All right.
Yes, Omega.
I'm good with that.
Omega versus Okada at All In Texas for both titles.
Oh yeah. Well, they've hinted at. Didn't they hint that when Omega first came back, that they kind of stood in the ring together, and then they were like looking at that sign that said basically that. So I guess they probably at that time. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Well, let me ask Robert. Was this match something special or what?
It was one of those three matches that I told you was very high intensity. But this is one of the matches that had too many unrealistic kickouts. There were times where it definitely should have ended, but it didn't. So I can't like this as much as the Toni Storm Mariah May match, but I still like this a lot. So I'll still give this 2 thumbs up.
All right, 2 thumbs up from Robert. And then the next one is Fletcher and Ospreay. So Kyle Fletcher overcomes blatant interference from Mark Davis to beat Kyle Fletcher inside a steel cage. Did I describe that properly, Robert? Blatant interference?
Yes.
So he was basically in there like a third guy in the match, which is kind of cool. Booking-wise, I could see that these three guys were in a stable together, and they ended up in a steel cage in this terrible fight. I see that being like a cool idea. I wish I was set up a little better. The whole Mark Davis thing, where he's like, an unwilling guy who has this contract to Don Callis where he's owned. I don't know. I don't really buy that. So it's kind of a weird story to me. It's kind of unbelievable. Why would he be tied to Don Callis like that, where he has to do his henchman work? What kind of contract is that? But anyways, for this match, was this something special, Robert?
Yes, this is really good too. I probably like this a little more than the Omega Takeshita match, just because there was more drama. They told a better story. There's more history between these two than there is between Omega and Takeshita. So I don't know. I did like this a little more. So I think this is gonna be the first time I'll do one of those in between ratings, probably 2.5.
2.5 thumbs. Okay, we could do that. That's cool.
So just for my clarity, Ospreay basically beat both of them because they were both in the ring. Is that what happened?
Yeah, the other guy, Mark Davis, he tried to interfere, but it didn't work.
All right. Well, all right. That's fine, I guess.
Well, I gotta watch it. I'm still planning on watching all these matches. If I have time, I might do a watch along on Tuesday night. I was thinking where I watch these Revolution matches and see if they're anything great. I'm sure there's some good, nuance in there that is interesting to watch. I mean, these guys, they really care about their craft. These guys think of themselves as the greatest in the world at this point at what they do. In terms of this style of wrestling, this is not WWE style. This is the other style. Fletcher and Ospreay are as good as it gets, right? They do that style. If you want them to do that style, they're as good as Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and even Kyle Fletcher. I guess Danielson can put on a match like that. These type of guys that they want to put on those 5-star bangers where you go all the way and do every single move in the book and whatever. Like, whatever you think about that, okay, but these guys are the best in the world at doing that. You know what I mean? So they probably went to another level, I'm guessing.
I don't know if I'd put Kyle Fletcher necessarily on their level, but he is really good, though.
Ospreay does say he's on another level, but the matches I've seen with Fletcher, I think he's been pretty close. He's pretty close.
He's kind of close here. Oh, well, okay, I know I already talked about Takeshita. I think Takeshita's ceiling is really, really high, probably higher than Okada's. He's younger and...
What? You think Takeshita can be having 5-star matches like that? Damn.
Takeshi's one of the best workers in AEW, actually.
I think he has potential to be better than Okada at some point, but no, he has a lot of time on his hands. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I still want to see it. I still want to see him do that match where he has the 3 kickouts out of finishers, and see if he can actually pull it off before I give him that. So I think he does have potential, but yeah, let's see. All right, number 9. I don't know if you guys just saw this shit, but this was fucking crazy. I didn't see any of it, but Christian cashes in Casino Gauntlet during main event, making match a triple threat match. Christian's cash in. Christian's cash in costs Cope, who was on the verge of victory. So I guess that sounds like he didn't want Edge to win. Like Cope was on the verge of a 3rd spear, from what I was reading on Moxley, and everyone in the crowd was thinking like, "Holy shit, this is gonna happen!" I can't believe I didn't think of that Christian would cash in just to fuck Edge, because he doesn't want to watch him become champion. Anyways, in the end, Moxley retains. So
no,
I don't have any clips from this or any pictures. We're just gonna have to rely on Robert's word, because this shit just happened like half an hour ago. It literally just ended, and out of the 3 of us, Robert's the only one who's seen it. So, Robert, you have any comments or reviews on this?
Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to tell you my perspective, and I'm sure it applies to a lot of the fans that were actually in the arena, and people watching from home too. So this match came after Tony Storm versus Mariah May, Omega versus Takeshita, and then Ospreay and Fletcher. Yeah. All 3 like very high energy, high intensity matches. By the time this match came on, I was like exhausted.
Yeah.
Personally, I was exhausted. I don't know. So right off the bat, that's like this match has that going against them, right? Because there's no way they could match the energy of the matches that they're following, and it didn't. Yeah, I don't know. It was the pacing was all of a sudden like very, very slow, and I was drained at that point. So that kind of.
Well, what about when the cash-in happened? That must have woke your ass up.
It did.
And surprised you. Surprising.
But then it didn't. Christian didn't win it, so it was all for nothing. I would have been. I would have liked it if he won it.
That does suck for Christian, man.
Yeah, it does. It does. I would have liked it if he won it. Then I would have. I don't know. I'm not sure what rating I would give it. But
at least he blew it for Cope. At least he accomplished that. Like, he didn't let Cope win. But we do have a continuation of the Moxley
Cope has an out
title
for this, I guess. But
yeah, it looked like he was gonna win clean. I guess there was no interference before that, huh? No Death Riders, nothing.
What's his name?
Yuta.
Yuta, yeah. Yuta tried to Yuta did interfere, actually.
Oh, Yuta did interfere. Okay, I didn't notice that. I'll add him to the list of participants in this storyline. All right, so if you don't have anything else, or I guess we're interested in your rating as well, but I'll get comments from Vlad next. What do you think? Do you have a rating on this? Did you like this?
No. I didn't. Jeez, I don't know. I'll probably.
Did you dislike it enough to give it a thumbs down, or are you at an indifferent? Or I mean, it's disappointing to a lot of people to have Moxley's reign continue. I guess it's disappointing that Christian didn't win the title after earning a contract for a title shot. And I guess Cope, that's disappointing that he didn't win because the crowd were on the edge of their seat for that. So this is all disappointing, and it's hard to see anything positive out of this.
I'll give this a thumbs down. It wasn't great.
You convinced them.
Oh wait, there's one more name you got to add to this. Actually, two names actually, Swerve and Nana.
At the end, at the post
at the very end, as Moxley was trying to walk out, Nana stopped him. Got in his way. Basically said, "Hey." Well, we couldn't hear what he said, but obviously he had to remind Moxley that Swerve's next, and then Swerve jumped on top of Moxley and jumped him at the end.
Okay.
Okay, that's ridiculous. After everything they just did as the main event, they really didn't need that. But okay.
So it's gonna be Swerve and Nana. I might add that as a separate 10th storyline. I'm not sure. I'll think about it,
Okay.
But yes, so because that is separate because Swerve hasn't been involved with anything to do with Cope or the Death Riders yet. This is like a brand new feud. So Swerve is next. All right, Vlad. Any comments on all that you just? Is this the first time you're hearing of this, or did you read it?
First time I'm hearing. No. First time I absolutely hearing about this. This sounds like a shit show, bro. Like an absolute shit show. Like a Tony Khan wet dream. I don't know. I really quite understand. So why didn't Christian just come in after the match and try to beat whoever was still the champion? Why did he?
Yeah, Robert. What did it look like? Edge was like down and out. Like it seemed like he was ready to go for a third spear. Why would Christian cash in at that point? Unless otherwise, just to make sure that Cope didn't win that title. Do you think that's what it was?
That's, you make a guy didn't think of that, but that's a good point. That's probably why.
But yeah, so he didn't seem to have much of an advantage going in, though. No, like once he jumped in there,
I mean, the only person... it was towards the very end of the match. They had to be exhausted. So
yeah, maybe he had confidence in himself that he could still pull it off. Right. Still tough spot to put yourself in. Triple threat match, main event. All of a sudden, okay. All right. Well, Vlad, other than that, any comments on, Death Riders continuing on with the title? And I guess we might get a rehash of Edge and Christian.
Oh, man. No, I'm not excited for any of that stuff. No, that's all I'll say. I don't want to... Because I didn't watch it, so I can't say, but no, I'm not excited. Go ahead, Robert.
I did think of something. Maybe Christian wanted to set an example that a good father would come in when one of the competitors still had somewhat of a chance. He needs to set example for how a good father should act.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I didn't think of that, Robert. That's another thing I should have. I can't believe I didn't think of that. All right.
Well said.
Let's move off of AEW. All right. Goddamn, we're at 35 minutes into the show, and we've only talked about AEW. That's the first time in a while that we've given them this much time. But okay, I'm going to move back to my episode 151 blog post. We got some good WWE topics to talk about real quick. So let's jump to Raw and SmackDown for Cody's response to John Cena attacking him finally. But this was on SmackDown, so we didn't get any really follow-up to the John Cena thing until Friday. On Monday, there was nothing, just a lot of video packages. But I will mention the one thing from Monday Night Raw, as I will click on it. You guys, if you want to see our whole review of Monday Night Raw, thumbs up, thumbs down for every storyline. It's in the description. We don't have time to go through it here. But I will mention that I included CM Punk talking about Rock and Cena as a storyline here. And I saw potential, Robert, of maybe Punk being involved in this somehow. Like if The Rock is going to be like a major cheater like he was last year, bend the rules for Cena, because that's why Cena's going to be on The Rock's side, right? On the final boss's side, so that he can cheat. Like if there's going to be people running in to cheat for Cena, then Cody needs backup, so he needs friends. And Punk already has history with The Rock and Cena. So and then he cut a pretty scathing promo on him. Like he came out before he addressed Seth Rollins. He came out and immediately started yelling about, I forgot what he said, that they're two bald hacks or something like that. I was like, man, That's a tough insult to throw at someone, because there's got to be someone in the audience who's bald. You know what I mean? But anyways, so any comments on CM Punk? Because I saw Vlad shaking your head that you don't think Punk's going to be involved in this in any way.
Oh, well, I don't think he'll be in this WrestleMania feud, but I think he could be involved with either Cena or The Rock post WrestleMania. But yeah, I mean, obviously this was a tremendous. I mean, I think all of us rated this whole promo by Punk very highly. That much I do remember. But yeah, it was great stuff. But no, I don't think he'll be part of the feud.
All right, Robert. Let me see. I think we all gave this a heart. We loved it anyways, just because he talked about The Rock and Cena and everything. But okay, Robert, do you have any comments on that? Do you see him being a part of this, or any other comments?
I don't know. I thought he might have some sort of feud with either Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. I don't know about any involvement with The Rock and John Cena, but I mean, it's a possibility. You never know. And then regarding that particular segment, if I rated that segment like immediately right after it happened, I probably would have given it a fire rating. I liked it that much initially, but after thinking about it a little bit more, there's some things that kind of don't make sense, at least personally to me.
Which part? Which parts? I'm curious.
Because when he was talking about John Cena, right, when he said, "Now people get to see in you what I've already known for decades."
Oh, right.
Which is weird, because the 2 days before in Elimination Chamber, when John Cena extended his hand for a handshake, CM Punk just hugged him. Okay, you hugged him instead of giving him a handshake 2 days ago. Now you're saying this about John Cena? That doesn't make sense. And then he said something about the Rock having a midlife crisis. I didn't get what he meant by that personally, but so after a little bit of time, I downgraded my rating slightly just to loved it. But man, right off the bat, right after I heard it, I was ready to give this a fire rating.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so other than that, on Raw, there was no real follow-up. Michael Cole made mention of it, and then AJ Styles also during his backstage interview also expressed disbelief, but that's all there was. Video packages galore. Then on SmackDown, we got, this is our SmackDown review, link to the full review in the description below, by the way, for anyone who's interested in that. I also did a live stream for this one where I just watched the whole show and commented on it as I went along, but that's neither here nor there. But what storyline was this again? Hold on. I think it's number 4, if I'm not mistaken, as I run through all these SmackDown storylines. So Cody finally shows up. So for the first time since Elimination Chamber, Cody cut a promo, and he cut a fiery promo. First of all, asking why the fuck did this happen? So he wants an answer. And second of all, basically he just got all fired up and said, he said Cena's catchphrase, right? If you want some, come get some. So he's ready for the match. And let's see our reviews on this promo, by the way. I got a 2 thumbs up from me and Robert, and then a thumb and a half from Vlad. So okay, we all really liked it, I guess. I don't know what you call a thumb and a half, but okay. Anyone want to give comments on this promo and the real follow-up finally to our big heel turn last week and everything? I'll start with Vlad. You go first.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, it was very fiery, very emotional, very serious. I mean, hard not to notice that shiner under his eye. I mean, that was, a Travis Scott special. There has to be a receipt for that down the line. That I can't.
How the hell is he gonna give Travis Scott a receipt?
Travis Scott should get involved somehow, and he should be in the ring. And next time he's in the ring, Cody should just give him a receipt. That's what needs to happen.
Oh, well, hopefully. Otherwise, he's got to go to where he's hanging out and just slap him like Rick James style. But okay, go.
Yeah, okay, I don't think that's going to happen. It has to be in the wrestling ring. But anyways, this was a great
promo.
Great promo, yeah. Very, very good. And yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what else to say about it. Obviously, what we're all waiting to hear is what Cena is going to say about why he did it. I have a theory or some ideas of what he could say, but I'm curious how he's going to word it. Even Cody was like, he's going to be very, like, I forgot how Cody said it, but basically he can't wait to hear the verbiage of what Cena's going to say about why he did this. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I also cannot wait for that. And I think the only guy who can get that information is Miz TV, which Miz talked to Nick Aldis, and he's saying he wants the scoop.
Good Lord.
And I think that's an excellent idea. But anyways, Robert.
No, that's an awesome idea.
Oh, yeah. You're all insane.
Well, hey, come on. The Miz was in the ring with The Rock and John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania. So who better? I trust The Miz more than any other media outlet right now. But Robert, go ahead. This is your turn.
I pretty much 100% agree with everything Vlad said. This is a fiery promo, but just like what he said, what we all really want to hear is what John Cena's explanation is. So I don't know when his next but we're all waiting for that. We want to hear the explanation from him. But yeah, no,
I mean, I think we all know that the explanation. I don't think he should even explain himself. I think it would be better if he doesn't explain himself, and he's too like kind of torn between actually doing this to even talk about it. And the explanation is obviously that he can't get it done on his own. He hasn't won a match in I don't know how many days now. It's been something 1,000 days or whatever that he hasn't won a singles match. He's not going to win fair and square and clean. He has to do this just to have a chance to win that title.
He still has to say it. The fans want to hear it.
We know already. We know. I don't need to hear it. But anyways, moving along. Let's see. I mean, I'm saying I think there's a chance that promo could not happen.
But just real quick, do you guys have any issues with him not being on TV post that amazing moment? The next week. Any issues at all?
I mean, what's he gonna do? He's not gonna have a match or anything. You want him to hang out at SmackDown?
He doesn't have to have a match, just an appearance and say something.
Yeah. I think he needs to be there sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So 1 week, okay, but he should be there next coming week. That's my opinion, at least.
All right, well, we'll see. All right, moving along. More storylines. Another one from Monday Night Raw. Rhea losing the world title. So here's another interesting thing that happened. This is storyline. Let me see which storyline this is. Let's run through our Raw review. I didn't write down what number it is, but if anyone wants to read through this whole thing, it's in the description below. If you want what we thought of every storyline real quick, just thumbs up, thumbs down. Here it is. Io Sky pulls off major upset, defeats Rhea to win the world title. So very shocking result. I don't think anyone thought this would happen. I like shock value stuff, so I gave this 2 thumbs up. Vlad, the thumbs down. Robert, the thumbs up. So we'll get some more detailed thoughts from you guys. I think I have some pictures of this as well, some slides to play while you guys talk. If I can pull that up, just give me one moment, please. Number WWE Raw storyline number 6.
Are you talking about Hangman again?
No. That's the last video we were playing. All right, so this is the only thing interesting about this was that Bianca was there, and that she was jaw-jacking a little bit. Actually, they got into a shoving match. Actually, you know what? I have a point to make about this. This should have technically been a disqualification.
Yeah.
The second Bianca put her hand on Rhea, and the ref did a thing where she used her ref's discretion to let the match continue. So in that case, I think Rhea should be in this match, in this world title match at WrestleMania as a triple threat, because she deserves it. But anyways, I'll start with Robert this time. Robert, what are your thoughts on this title change?
Okay. Well, I'm actually a big EO fan. I think she's terrific. So if the story was simply that she won the title, I would have been like, oh, cool, that's awesome, good for her. But again, the timing matters too, like when it happens and who else is involved. So it just so happens is in the build up to WrestleMania, and for me, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, that's a dream match. That's a money match right there. That's something I would want to see for sure. And so Io's victory gets in the way of that. So even though I like Io, this gets in the way of what I want to actually see for WrestleMania. So I can't like it too much.
All right, Vlad, what do you think? You're the only one who gave this a thumbs down. So
yeah, I definitely have to echo what Robert just said. The match that would make the most sense money-wise is obviously the match that doesn't look like it's going to be happening now. But I mean, it's a wait-and-see approach. I mean, they still have time before WrestleMania. Maybe you're right; they'll throw Rhea in there as a triple threat. I really don't see the point. I don't really see the point of having Io involved at all. I have to be honest. I think she's all right, but I just don't see her at the same level as Bianca and Rhea. I'm sorry, I don't. So the booking is curious, very curious, to say it mildly. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, but as just that moment of Rhea losing, I had to give it a thumbs down. I didn't like it because I don't think it makes any sense, and I'm not as big a fan of Io like that. I think she's all right, but not on the level of either Bianca or Rhea. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
all right, well, I'm fine with it. I like the shock value of it, and I think Bianca and Rhea will face off someday. So I don't think.
But not really... WrestleMania. When? A house match or a house
no? Next year's WrestleMania. It'll be like a Brock and Roman thing. Like that'll happen at 2 WrestleManias years down the line. But it doesn't matter if this year it's a triple threat with Io Sky. That's like how Rock and Roman had a triple threat with Seth Rollins one year at WrestleMania. They're just not doing it in order. Someday they will have that one-on-one match at WrestleMania, just not this year. And that's fine with me, because I don't see anyone else on their level. Like, I watch NXT, and there's a lot of good girls, but I don't see anyone up there who can be like Rhea, Charlotte, Bianca, who can be like a main event of WrestleMania. So this will happen. I think they're just saving it for down the line. And if Io Sky's in it, that'll be good. That'll be cool too. Come on, Robert. What do you mean? I'm the biggest Io Sky fan, but I don't want to see her in a world title match at WrestleMania. Get out of here, man.
She's not Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair. No. Yeah.
She's the genius of the Sky. But all right, let me move on from this.
She is, but she's still not Bianca or Rhea.
All right. Speaking of Bianca, there was something on this Raw involving Bianca, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, involving...
She had an interview, I believe, right?
Yeah, there was a follow-up to the Jade Cargill stuff. Yeah, so I listed this as a separate storyline, number 10. Earlier in the night, Liv and Raquel expressed relief that they're not fucking, being pestered about that anymore. And then Bianca had an interview, and she didn't want to talk about it. So that kind of made me feel like, what are they hinting that she's kind of involved in it or something? So she avoided the question and went to go fuck Rhea Ripley over like a heel. So I thought there was a chance that she could turn heel in this whole thing, but that's not what happened. So let's go over what happened on SmackDown. So our next storyline is, we got the Punk and Seth pull apart, but you know what? I'm going to put that on hold because this makes more sense for us to jump straight to this, because we just saw Bianca in that match. But I'm going to do it like this then. So Bianca, Naomi, and Jade Business from SmackDown. This is storyline number, let me see. If anyone wants our SmackDown review, by the way, Chelsea Green defended the United States title on this show as well. But here it is. So Naomi breaks Bianca's heart and admits that she attacked Jade. So this was a great segment. On my live stream, I'm eating like chips and dip watching this. And I'm just like enthralled, but I can't stop eating the chips and dip. But there was one part where this sent me over the edge, and I was like, damn, this is really fucking good. So let me pull up some images of this one while I ask you guys to give your thoughts on this. Here it is. SmackDown, March 7th. So here's Bianca, and she came out and asked Naomi point blank, did you do this? Right? So here comes Naomi. And it wasn't a tough question, but Naomi danced around it. And then she finally said, I did it. And the crowd popped like a motherfucker. I did it. And it was very emotional. Okay, the acting was they were kind of screaming over each other, but it was fine. Like it made sense. And then Bianca finally said, I'm done with you, man, after all this. And Trinity is yelling at her. Naomi, sorry. That's the TNA in me coming out. So Naomi's screaming at her, and this is the only part that I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play a little watch along of this for us to just listen to the line of the night. I thought, here it is.
Don't walk out on me! You know why you wanted the truth? The truth is, I wish I would have pushed her harder.
This is where I was like, really like, holy shit.
The sooner!
Oh my God, I should have pushed her sooner.
Every time I start to clock in and stand up for myself, all of y'all turn on me. That's exactly what you're doing, Bianca. You ungrateful bitch.
That's where I started laughing. And then that's where Bianca just turns around and gives her this look like, what the fuck did you just say? And that's when Jade comes in. So Jade comes in and basically just kicks her ass. So, well, Trinity starts running right here. I'm like, she should have been running. Why the fuck is she standing right there the whole time she's watching Jade come in the car in the parking lot, and then Jade just grabs her and fucks her up and leaves her laying. So, all right, I described the whole scene to you because I thought it was interesting how it all went down. But all right, who did I start with last time? I think I started with Vlad. Let's go with Robert. You go next. What's going on? What happened with this?
I have to start with something that I've never done on this show before, and that's...
Oh, wow.
That was very well done.
Robert was doing a standing ovation for the audio podcast listeners.
You know, a scene like that, if that was done like on any other TV show where they had to do multiple takes, right? That would have been also if you were to tell me that was done rehearsed and done with multiple takes, I would have still thought this was incredible. But this is done live with a live audience, all in one take.
Yep.
Okay, that's very difficult to pull off. And to see, how well they acted, that's why. Sorry, I can't give that fake MJF Actor of the Week title. I had to give it to these two. Man, they were incredible, and for them to have like real tears come out too, that was really, really good. And the camera work. The WWE is very, very good with their camera work. They did it last week with Elimination Chamber with John Cena's face. They did it again with Bianca here. They're very good at knowing where to place the camera at the exact right moments to capture facial expressions and stuff like that. This was done so well. I was totally hooked on this. This is captivating. I loved it.
This could be the greatest women's segment in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
It could have been. It could easily could. I'd have to look at it and see others. But yes, this was amazing.
All right, well, Vlad, you also gave it a loved it, plus 3 points on your SmackDown review. Let's hear some thoughts from you then.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what Robert said. The acting was incredible, and you believed them. I mean, this is what's hard today in wrestling is for people to go out there and be believable, because we know there's a lot of these script writers that are writing material for these wrestlers, and it doesn't always come off very well. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. You could tell when guys are real. When Jacob Fatu speaks, it's real. That's real. When Punk's cuts a promo, a lot of that, what he's feeling, is very real. So if you told me that Bianca and Naomi could pull it off, I would have said no. There's no way. Like they couldn't. They don't have the promo chops to do it. But this was incredible. I was moved. I was near tears. Now I'm not exactly mentally stable, but that doesn't mean that was not a great segment. Because I was moved, man. That was great acting and good stuff by both of them. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say to that. It was really good stuff. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Well, obviously, what I'll say about it, Naomi's right. Bianca is an ingrate, dude. She got Jade out of the way, and now she's pissed at her about it. Come on. Jade was just riding her coattails, man. But anyways, moving along. What? Let me go to the next storyline.
But then wasn't Naomi also been riding Bianca's coattails as well?
What? Bianca or Naomi? No, man. Naomi, you talking about former TNA knockout champion?
Stop it. Wasn't Jade a former TNT champion?
TBS champion. She was never a world. She was never a world champion. Let's get that straight.
God. Okay, fine. I'll leave. I'm not gonna even comment on that.
Anyways, I'm moving on. I got I think with just one more storyline, which is the pull apart between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So this is we kind of talked about this earlier, and when I mentioned that Punk talked about John Cena and The Rock in his promo. So I consider that a separate storyline on our Raw review, which is in the description below, by the way. But the second storyline that stemmed from this is his thing with CM Punk, with Seth Rollins, which I was thinking as I was watching this, and he's talking about Cena and The Rock. I'm like, why are you worried about these guys, man? You should be worried about... I also did a live stream for this one, but I was drunk for this one, so I was just ridiculous. And I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be worried about Cena and Rock. You should be worried about fucking Seth Rollins, who just fucked you over at Elimination Chamber and curb stomped your face into the cage and cost you the main event of WrestleMania. So then, right then and there, that's when CM Punk or Seth Rollins came out and they had a massive pull apart, and it ended up in Pierce booking a steel cage match for next week. All right, so we keep thinking we're going to get a WrestleMania match with these guys, but we keep getting Raw matches. It still could be a WrestleMania match. Here's our reviews for this past Monday segment. 2 thumbs up from me and Vlad. Loved it from Robert. All right, yeah, I liken this pull apart to like the famous, legendary Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed pull aparts. So this was kind of in that vein,
Famous.
the world's infamous.
Yeah, it was in that vein. You know what I mean? They were kind of they were drawing inspiration from that. But let me jump to some images I have of this. I think I have more images, and you guys could talk over the images. So Vlad, what's up with this? What's up with this?
What's up with this? Well, this was right after Punk's promo. He happened to also then have another great segment with Seth as well. That's what happened. They had the pull apart. They kept going back to, and you could understand why Punk would be mad at Seth. You can kind of understand slightly why Seth is mad at CM Punk. It's starting to be a little bit like Drew's obsession with CM Punk, where it just kind of logic goes out the window in a sense. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the whole situation there, and surprised with the Raw match. I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to their cage match, but I'm surprised that they're not going to be. Well, they still might have a match at WrestleMania, but just that they're already booking a match for Raw, a cage match. So, like, what are you going to do after a cage match? I don't know. Well,
obviously, the last one is Falls Count Anywhere. But Anyways, that's obviously the last match in the series all the time. But yeah, backstage, there was another backstage pull apart again, and then a Seth Rollins segment with Adam Pearce. So, Robert, what do you think of this Raw booking? Should this have been the WrestleMania booking, or what's going on here? What's your view of this?
Okay, I think of it this way. CM Punk won their initial encounter on the first Raw on Netflix. If Seth Rollins wins this upcoming Raw, they technically have a score to settle, wouldn't they? So why not finish it in WrestleMania? All right, and then personally, I view this segment as a continuation of the first storyline, which I loved, and I also loved this. So this was incredible. But yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. Because I don't know who else would CM Punk face in WrestleMania other than Seth.
Yeah.
Unless it's a triple threat with Roman, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Roman seems like he's not going to be at WrestleMania. Didn't he get injured? Because I'm going to mention Drew McIntyre later in my honorable mentions, because I think the thing with Damian isn't going too badly. But the fact that Drew is not going to fight Roman, and Roman's not around. Didn't they say he got injured from that Royal Rumble or something? Like, for real? Anybody hear anything about this?
Oh, I don't know if it was for real or not. But yes, they did say he was injured, obviously, on the show. But I don't know. I don't know if he's actually injured or what the situation is.
All right. Well, there you go then. I think that's all our major storylines we got for this week. Let me see. Let me move along. Let me move through my blog post. Yeah, we already did the Hangman Page MJF stuff. We already did the AEW Revolution stuff. All right, so that's it. I got a Retro Raw. You guys want to run through some results from this Retro Raw? I could do it maybe in like 20 minutes or less, maybe. What do you think?
I'll leave it up to you, but yeah.
I mean, if you guys are tired, obviously, I understand you have lives. If you want to leave, you're excused. But if you want to hang around and do some stuff here, Robert, you didn't happen to watch this one, did you? I know sometimes you watch some of our extra Retro Raws that we do and prepare for the show. But I always tell you guys, you didn't, right?
No, I didn't watch this one.
Yeah, all right. That's all right. I always tell you guys it's optional if you want to watch it or not, because we're going to go through it. If there's any clips that I think are worth playing, I'll play them. Otherwise, I might just maybe list some results. And Robert, you actually probably saw this episode live back in the day. So WWF, we're on September 30th, 1996. We did September 23rd last week, so we've been doing about a month and a half. If you want if you miss any of we started post SummerSlam, so if you've missed any of our reviews of WWF in 1996 post SummerSlam, you could go to the description and I'll put the whole playlist so you could watch everything that we've reviewed so far. But we also reviewed WCW from this same day. This is September 30th, 1996. So we did this on episode 87 of the Malapert Smark Podcast last year, probably. And this was the episode where WCW were trying to get Sting back because Sting has ran away because they offended him, and they bought him a car. And then Miss Elizabeth is in the NWO's dressing room, and Macho Man found her there, and he's feuding with Hogan. So they're in full swing, right? They're in a great Macho Man versus Hollywood Hogan feud for the world title, leading up to Halloween Havoc. And WWF is leading up to Buried Alive as their next pay-per-view. So they've been advertising Mankind versus The Undertaker and Buried Alive. So, all right. So here's our topics for today. I got a few topics for what happened here on September 30th, 1996. And let's go through them. So let's see what we got. Give me 1 second, guys. Trying to pull up my videos and everything. So here's our review of 1996, September 30th, WWF Raw. I think Vlad did this review earlier, so me and Vlad already reviewed all these storylines if you want to go read them. It's kind of interesting to me. But all right, so this is the continuation of the Razor Ramon storyline. So Robert, you weren't here, but last week they introduced the fake Razor Ramon finally. Okay. And JR cut this crazy promo that I thought, actually, you know what? I'm going to play, during the intro of this show, they play like a little bit of what JR said the week before. And man, JR sounded like a little too freaking Like, it sounded a little too natural, the stuff he was saying about Vince McMahon and the WWF.
Yeah, that was a work. That was a work shoot. I mean, that was a complete work shoot.
Exactly. So listen to this, Robert. Let me play something from here.
I have no loyalty to the World Wrestling Federation. I've only got loyalty to good old JR. I came here to be the primary play-by-play man in the WWF. Vince McMahon couldn't stand the competition, and he fired my ass. It's crap. These guys feeling the WWF was an accident? Hell no, it's not. I've been very busy. And right now, I want to bring back one of your favorites. He's the bad guy, Razor Ramon.
With those words, Jim Ross tore apart the foundation of the World Wrestling Federation. Tonight, a new era begins. Diesel is in.
He said he fired my ass. All right. So let me see. Let me see. This is the image of when commentary. They show the commentary team when the show opens, and JR, this is the first time he appears. So here he is. He's so freaking proud of himself. He looks like, yeah, I told off the company. I told my boss to go fuck himself. And yeah, I'm still here and I got a job. He's dead serious. And he still has a job, which is kind of funny. That's another thing. Like, if he actually said all that stuff about his boss, like, you know, wouldn't he get
fired?
Wouldn't he get fired or anything? But he did mention that he thinks he might get fired. Actually, I'm going to play some of what he said during commentary. So this is during Stone Cold's match, but I'm going to cover Stone Cold's match in a second. I just want to listen to what JR said during his match. So I'm going to hit play on this one.
Savio Vega will battle Razor Ramon, JR.
Oh, yeah, there you see him. Hell, that's him. That's Razor Ramon. What else you going to call him? Razor Ramon right here tonight. And there's a big diesel for that. That's been the most asked question all week. What do we think of this guy? Well, I would suggest, Kevin, you call him Razor Ramon, as identified on his height. Well, all I can say is Gorilla Monsoon's going to be out here. Jim, I'm afraid he's going to accuse you of being a hoodwinker. Yeah, well, Monsoon's already tried to fire me once. Maybe he's going to fire me tonight. Maybe that's his big announcement. He's going to fire me right here. On the air? That'll only be the third time I've been fired in this company. Jake down.
All right. So I don't want to talk about this Stone Cold Jake thing yet. I'll talk about that later. But what happened? So Gorilla Monsoon, the president of, well, here's the Outsiders warming up in the locker room. So, you know, I did mention that the fact that they're actually teasing Diesel this time doesn't really matter, because it's like, okay, we already know this is bullshit. Like, you don't need to tease that Diesel's going to be here. Dude, shut the fuck up. So here's Razor coming out, doing the Razor move. It's funny to me, I wrote in the comment, Vlad, that he does all of Razor's mannerisms and everything, you know? But anyways, let me play. So here's JR's explanation for Hall and Nash, or Razor and Diesel, and he says, I never call him Hall and Nash, because Kevin Kelly's like, this is not Hall and Nash, and JR's like, well, I didn't say it was going to be Hall and Nash, right? So here's how he explains it.
But don't you guys like competition? Is there something wrong with having great young athletes here? Gorilla Monsoon said it would not be Scott Hall, Jim Ross. And I never mentioned Scott Hall's name, or Kevin Nash. You recall me ever mentioning their names? No, you don't. What's wrong with bringing great athletes to the World Wrestling Federation?
So he's saying he's just bringing great athletes in. I didn't say I was going to bring Hall and Nash, right? So I guess he's saying I brought two guys in, and I'm calling them Diesel and Razor. All right, well, that's fine. Whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, so here's Gorilla Monsoon to come in to argue with JR about this, the president of the WWF.
Please, the World Wrestling Federation President Gorilla Monsoon has joined us here at the broadcast desk. We are getting set to see the man you claim to be Razor Ramon, Jim Ross, in the ring, taking on Savio Vega. And I don't know what to make about this match or the comments that you made. Well, it's pretty obvious that's Razor Ramon. No, that's not obvious, Jim Ross. That is not obvious. Look at your...
Gorilla Monsoon's face here, bro. I'm pressing pause on this and making this bigger. Oh my god, he's like so serious. Like that's not them, Jim Ross. That's this guy is some actor. To go through this ridiculousness, he is a great wrestling actor. I'll give him that. I'm just going to play a couple more seconds of this.
Tom in the office, and look at his contract. His contract says his name is Razor Ramon. But what's his real name? You know, I'm concerned about what's going down here, Jim Ross. I'm very concerned about your attitude and what you're doing right now here. I don't have any right to have this attitude, do I? Have you ever been fired? Did McMahon ever fire you? Absolutely not. Did your children ever almost go hungry? Did he destroy your life? Hell no, he
didn't. All right. So they have the match. It's Savio Vega against Razor Ramon, quote unquote. I think I have a couple of spots of, well, here comes the Diesel, the fake Diesel. So he comes to, I think, ruin the match. As far as I remember, it's a DQ, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Match: Savio Vega defeats Razor by DQ. Okay, that's true. So, what's his name? Fake Diesel. Who is Kane, by the way, right? This is the future Kane.
Correct. This is Glenn Jacobs.
He does look a lot like Diesel when he puts on the beard and the hair and everything. So that's interesting. And then he's doing all the mannerisms too of Diesel. All right. Well, let me see what Vlad gave this on the Malapert Smark rating system. This is a retrospective review, by the way. So put this over here for y'all. So Vlad's review is a half a thumbs up. Okay, I gave it a thumbs up mostly for Gorilla Monsoon and JR complaining about, you know, all the being fired stuff and everything. I don't know. Robert, do you have any, I know you're watching this for the first time, but do you have any comments on good old JR here? Is this interesting to you to hear him speak? Like, I saw you smiling a little bit when he was complaining.
Yeah, the stuff he says is interesting. Is this whole idea of bringing Razor Ramon and Diesel back, but it's not the same Razor Ramon and Diesel that everybody's expecting. Is just still ridiculous.
Vlad, you want to make any comments on this before we move along to maybe a couple more clips?
Well, I think it's just bad business to keep mentioning your opposition and the two hottest guys there consistently, like repeatedly on your show every week. It just makes the viewer want to see what's going on the other side. Like, who are these? Who is Nash and Hall? Let's see what's going on. Even if you're not watching WCW, you're kind of like, well, what's going on over there? Why do they keep talking about these guys? But anyways, yeah, JR was hilarious. I like the line where he said, like, I don't know who. Well, actually, I don't know if it was King who said, like, when JR was like, did you ever have your kids go hungry or you go hungry or something like that? And I think King said something about, like, you don't look like you missed any meals.
Yeah, no, they talked for a lot longer, Robert. I just didn't want to play 5 minutes of JR and Gorilla talking. I thought the whole thing was pretty good, and obviously Jerry Lawler's there too. So yes, this was to me on this day, and the way they explained it away. He's like, well, I didn't say it was going to be Hall and Nash. It's just a guy named Razor and a guy named Diesel. I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. He brought some new competitors here. You guys want to complain about this still? Okay. He hoodwinked everybody. It was kind of a bait and switch, and it's a silly storyline, but it's not that bad. I don't think it's a disaster, honestly. It probably still brought some viewers in. Probably some people were still like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean?
It's one of the great wrestling disasters of all time. It's one of them. It's in the top 10, probably, of wrestling storylines that they put together that blew up in their face.
All right, well, let me move on to the next one then, because I do want to get through a couple of these before we get out of here. But the Stone Cold match. So as we've been reviewing these matches, this was like the first kind of full Stone Cold match that we've had. I think we had one where he fought was it Savio Vega and he got disqualified or something? No, Mark Miro. He fought Mark Miro and he got disqualified just because he didn't care about that IC title tournament. So here he's fighting Jake the Snake, which I guess is a rematch of the King of the Ring final, where he beat him there. So this is kind of a rematch of a marquee matchup. But I don't have clips I want to play from this, but I do want to play just some images and one spot in particular of Stone Cold selling just a punch. Oh, by the way, the sub storyline here, Robert, is that JR, who had been feuding with Jake the Snake, is going to mess with him from ringside with the alcohol, obviously. But here's Stone Cold getting thrown into the ring ropes and doing a leapfrog. So here's a leapfrog right here. kind of interesting. And then he's going to get punched here, and he's going to sell it. So interesting to me how Stone Cold sells. He already grabbed his face before he hit the ground. So he got socked in the face, grabs his face, falls on the floor, flops all around, which is fantastic. This is great selling to me. Like, as an analyst of a wrestler, I would say this is the stuff I would look for. All right, and then grabs his face again, and then crawls to the corner, you know, just from one punch, just from getting socked in the face one time. You know what I mean? Like, this is great work to me. There was a lot of good heel work in this. Like, while Jake was arguing with Lawler, Stone Cold tried to sneak attack, but, you know, he was acting like kind of like a weasel, you know what I mean? I will say I took points off for this because I think there was a spot where Lawler missed his cue, like he came in too early with the alcohol thing. But in the end, he took a swig and spit it in Jake's face, and he hit his face pretty good. Like, they did that spot well. So
yeah, surprisingly, yeah. From
and then,
he hit his face.
So as the ref was distracted, Stone Cold hit him with the stunner. No kick to the stomach for the stunner at this point. I don't know if you noticed that. So the famous double combo where he kicks him, and then so he wins the match. And then there was an afterbirth where him and Jerry Lawler like gang up on Jake the Snake. Interesting stuff. I don't know. Savio Vega makes the save. So Savio Vega, who had fought Stone Cold earlier in the year, runs him off. And that's that. So, all right, let me see what we had as a rating from Vlad on this one. Vlad gave it a half a thumbs up. I liked it. I don't know, maybe just retrospectively, because Stone Cold is such a superstar and Jake the Snake is such a superstar. Like, I found it very interesting and pretty good, pretty well worked match. Everything with Lawler on the outside, I think, was good. Vlad, do you want to give any thoughts about this match before I move along?
Yeah, I mean, of course, yes. Stone Cold is going to be a superstar. Jake probably was a superstar, but yeah, there really wasn't that much to watch here, I have to be honest. So it was what it was. It was okay.
All right, well, let me see what I want to move on to next. I think I want to do, well, Mankind and Undertaker, they did a dueling promos thing again from the Graveyards, which they did the week before. I like the promos. I gave it 2 thumbs up, actually, but I'm not going to play them because I played them last week. Well, what's his name? Mankind was digging a grave, and Paul Bearer told him, "Don't do that. The Undertaker is gonna dig his own grave. You shouldn't have to do the work for him." So he's saying that the Undertaker is gonna dig his own grave and you bury him in it. It's more symbolic that way, right? And then, I mean, this imagery of the Undertaker at a graveyard and everything is really cool. It's iconic. So, but I'm not gonna play these promos. I'll just say that I like them. I think Vlad gave it a half thumbs up this time. But the one thing I did want to play as a watch along is this Triple H Mr. Perfect stuff. As we've been seeing in our reviews for the past few weeks, Mr. Perfect had been stealing Triple H's woman continuously. Any fine woman that Triple H brings to the ring, Mr. Perfect just comes in and just literally grabs her by the hand and takes her away, right?
Which is ridiculous.
So Triple H finally gets fed up with it, and he's going to come out and cut a promo about it. So I'm going to play a little bit of Triple H promo here. So watch along mode, finger pinch out if you want to play this in full screen. So Robert, first Triple H promo we're hearing on our Malapert Smark Podcast. So here it comes up.
You're back there, and I know you're listening. And I've got one thing to say to you. If you've got the guts, I'm challenging you. I want you to show me why they call you Mr. Perfect. If you've got any guts in your body, come out here. I'm issuing you a challenge.
Perfect's got plenty of guts, I can tell you that.
Meet me in the ring, and I'm going to show you what the new generation is all about.
My broadcast partner on Sunday mornings right here on USA on Superstars has got...
All right, so Triple H joins commentary for this match. It's weird to me, this one, Vlad, because they actually just had a match basically so they could feature Triple H on commentary. The match was a dumb tag match between the Godwins and... who was it?
Oh, I don't remember. There's no way you're gonna have to remember the name of that team.
The Grims. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Never heard of them. Never heard of them.
Okay, so they had some bullshit tag match, and Triple H is on commentary here, so he's still talking about Mr. Perfect, and I think this is an interesting insight into Triple H's old gimmick, where he's supposed to be like a fine gentleman or something. It's kind of funky, but let's listen to Triple H talk during this tag match.
Wait a minute, wait just a second. Hunter, I don't think Kurt's all that bad a guy, but I don't understand what the deal is either. Every time you bring a beautiful, luscious-looking lady to ringside, all of a sudden Perfect shows up and she leaves with him. What is the deal? You know who he reminds me of in My Family, King? Who? Nobody. You know why? Because Helmsley's have class. We have dignity. We're not common thieves. Mr. Perfect. I don't know
The common thief.
is, but I've watched tapes of him. He might have been perfect at one time. He might have been something. But I think now he's nothing but a has-been. Whoa. Very interesting comments, Mr. Helmsley. I believe this is Jason Grim.
He has class, Robert. Anyways, so
I thought he was degenerate.
Yeah.
one of the guys in this match, by the way, I guess Phineas Godwin becomes Midian. So
Correct.
just a side note, there's Midian, who's later part of the Ministry of Darkness. But anyway, so here's Mr. Perfect coming in on remote, so he's going to talk to Triple H and accept his challenge.
Hey, standing by right now, Mr. Helmsley. Somebody you might be very interested in. We have Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You heard the challenge from Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He wants to take you one-on-one in a match.
You know, I'm the kind of guy who loves a good challenge. You know what? For the last 11 months, I've been every week doing the color commentary on Superstars of Wrestling, the World Wrestling Federation Superstars. Not one of these so-called new generation superstars has issued a challenge to Mr. Perfect. Well, Helmsley, I got respect for you. And the answer is yes, I accept your challenge. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to give you a couple of weeks to get yourself in shape to face Mr. Perfect.
You're going to do me a favor? You're going to let me get into shape?
Well, you got your ears work pretty good. Yeah, that's what I told you.
I think you're mistaken, Mr. Perfect. It's you that needs to get in shape in case you haven't seen me in the ring. I'm going to take you apart.
That's good. I like a good challenge, Helmsley. You bring it on. You challenge Mr. Perfect, I accept the challenge. And you remember this. Nobody beats Mr. Perfect. Nobody.
Unbelievable. What about...
There you go. Hey, Robert, what do you think of how Triple H, like how he talks, his affect, where he's trying to sound like a fine gentleman? Do you think he's pulling that off or what?
Yeah, not bad. I still remember it to this day. Like even before you played the recording, I still remembered him talking like that.
This was the first time I've ever heard him. This literally this segment, first time I've ever heard him. Well, all right,
I was
so
used to it, Ray.
our reviews on this. I guess I'm the only one who gave it a thumbs up. Maybe it's just retrospective, like just nostalgia about this whole thing and knowing that these two turned out to be such iconic figures. So I was interested in it and I liked it. Vlad and indifferent, so I guess Vlad didn't like this. I don't know. I thought the challenge and the way he talked to him, he's like, I like a guy who gives a challenge. I'll accept your challenge. I thought that was cool and professional. Thought it all sounded good. But anyways, if you don't have any other comments on this,
No.
I will move on to the next thing I want to talk about, which is probably, let's see. Well, this is the Godwins. The Godwins won that match, by the way, Robert. Thumbs down.
Robert is thrilled for them.
Thumbs down from us. Okay, so I will mention that last week there was a weird storyline, Robert. You weren't here. But Vince McMahon had a video package where he said he called Jeff Jarrett a fraud musically. He said that he doesn't have any musical skills and that the songs he sang weren't even him. And next week we'll reveal who actually sang Jeff Jarrett's songs, and it was Road Dogg. they showed Road Dogg like singing, like he's such a great singer, like a great country singer. So the Road Dogg, Jesse James. So Jeff Jarrett had just left for WCW. And on the way out, they kind of running him down and talking shit about him. Another situation where they're talking about guys on the other channel, right, Vlad? So that's another interesting thing that happened. They revealed it to be Road Dogg. But I'm going to move on. I think the last thing I want to talk about is the main event, which is a mixed tag match, not mixed like with women, but mixed with managers and wrestlers. So it was Vader and Jim Cornette, our guy who was having a feud with Jose Lothario and Shawn Michaels. So let me see what I got for this. I think I got some images. This is the last thing on the show today, and we'll get you guys out of here. You guys did great. Thank you guys very much for being on the show today, man. You guys are literally the only thing I look forward to in life is doing this wrestling podcast. But I swear to God. But anyways, so interesting tag match here. Cornette's here. Cornette just lost to Jose Lothario at Mind Games at the pay-per-view, but he still wants to get back at him. So here's Jose Lothario and Shawn Michaels. Here's Vader and Jim Cornette. So here's our little dose of Cornette for the night. But I think you gave this a thumbs up if I'm not mistaken. But I had my problems with it. We'll check. Hold on, let me check on that first before I show the clips because I'm just curious. Yeah, we both gave it thumbs ups. I did have my problems with Cornette, who is so nitpicky with everyone. Like I think he kind of screwed up in this segment here. So finally, Shawn Michaels was down and out, right? And Cornette saying, all right, tag me in, you know, because he was like, I want to take advantage of this. And Vader's like, all right. So he tags him in. And then this is the timing thing that was kind of bullshit to me. Like right when he gets tagged in, he's like doing a practice boxing with Cornette. Like, yeah, give me one last bit of practice before I go do this. And then that's enough time for Shawn Michaels to do the tag. And then he runs in like he's going to fight Shawn Michaels, but he's like, oh shit, it's Jose Lothario. And then he gets cracked in the face and takes a bump. So I don't know. I thought that's kind of hokey and unrealistic for a guy who's always talking about hokiness and unrealisticness. Like that was really dumb, I thought. So I could have gave this 2 thumbs up or more. So I left it at a thumbs up. But there was one spot where he actually did good. So he had to rake the eyes. So here's him using a heel tactic. He raked the eyes, and that's how he got out of the match. And the last thing he did was try to sweep Shawn Michaels' feet with a tennis racket. So he does that, and Shawn Michaels dodges it. So Cornette and Lothario run off, and they fight off, I guess, as Cornette would say. Like, you know, we don't see them again. I don't know what the fuck happened to them for the rest of the match. And then Vader takes advantage of that one little advantage he got, and he wins the match. So he splashes Shawn Michaels and wins the match. And there's more of a melee after this where Sid and Goldust get involved, but I'm not going to go through that. But as of now, I will conclude this review of this edition of Raw, and that'll conclude our show, by the way. But I'll get final thoughts from Vlad, because I think Vlad just watched this today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, today.
All right, so we have to do the obligatory, what did you think of today's episode of Raw? This is September 30th, 1996. Obviously up against some stiff competition where most people are watching the other channel, and they're doing their best here. But what do you think?
Yeah, it was another bland, boring episode, to be honest. It was a lot of this stuff, as you said, maybe in retrospect is kind of interesting, and that's maybe how I thought I was fair in my reviews. For the most part, and thinking about it that way. But yeah, when you compare it to what was going on in WWE still, as that's what we're kind of doing, they're nowhere near where they need to be a competitor, you know, storyline wise and TV show wise. So yeah.
All right. Robert, any thoughts on anything you saw today? Anything, did you find any of that enjoyable or interesting?
I'll just say I don't feel like I missed out by not watching this.
But when I play clips like the Mr. Perfect and Triple H one,
that was fine. But like, you know, to dedicate like an hour to watch an old episode of Raw, I don't feel like I'm missing out by missing this episode.
All right, cool. All right. Oh, last thing I forgot to mention. Sorry. Honorable mentions for the week. Let's see. Things I didn't get on our show, but I just want to mention real quick. LA Knight won the U.S. title back from Nakamura. What'd you guys think of that?
I think that's good for LA Knight.
He kind of needed that, huh?
Yeah, he needed some momentum because there was nothing really going on with him. So
yeah, I agree with Robert. He needed it. It was to the point where I actually was the better character. So things were bleak in LA Knight's world, as far as I'm concerned. So I think, yeah, he needed this win, and maybe that would propel him to something. We'll see.
How about this fucking miss to the face from Charles Robinson?
Oh, yeah, man.
Dude, I think that's the greatest selling of a miss to the face I've ever seen, where he's just like, oh my God. It was so surprising, too. Like, I did not expect Charles Robinson to take that freaking miss to the face. And I thought it was going to cost LA Knight, because he was going to get a pinfall, but he wasn't there. But in the end, he still got the win. So I thought it was a good match. I thought it was an exciting match. I liked that miss spot a lot. So I think that worked out really great. And I think LA Knight needed that win, because he was starting to lose some credibility. But let me see what else I got on my honorable. So I did mention Damian and McIntyre. So McIntyre has nothing to do. And he fucking sneak attacked Damian at the beginning of the show, and then Damian got back at him and fucked him up, which I thought was great, because Drew McIntyre was just laying there like, oh shit. Like, the selling was awesome. Yeah, these are two former world champions. They can come up with something good, I think. I think they'll do all right. I'm not going to say it's a disaster that Damian and Drew McIntyre have to work together. Let me see. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens is helping Randy Orton go back to that dark place. So he says he's finding that voices. He's hearing the voices in his head, right? And he promises that he's gonna fucking punt Kevin Owens' head to the moon, which I guess is how this storyline is gonna end, right? Everyone is gonna be very happy to see that. But my last shout out is Chelsea Green as Mick Foley, who had a hardcore match with. What did she fight? Michin. A street fight, and she came in wearing Mick Foley's outfit, which I thought was a nice little tribute. But Alba Fire, what do you think of Alba Fire, Robert? She's pledged her allegiance to the United States champion. Yeah, I know she has nothing to do because Isla Dawn got released, so they got to put her. They put her in Chelsea's stable, it seems. Mm-hmm. But all right, so Chelsea kept the title after that tough loss she had on NXT. I thought, and Piper Niven was injured, so it looked like she was going to go down, but they surprised us with that Alba Fire thing. All right, if anyone else doesn't have anything from the week that they want to throw in, I know you guys want to go to sleep because it's late, so thank you very much for being here. For Vlad, the wrestling expert, Robert, the Frozen Asian, don't forget to subscribe and go to our YouTube post for all of our thumbs up, thumbs down reviews for every storyline on all shows in American TV, on wrestling on American TV. All right, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you next week. Oh, yeah, and stay tuned if you want to listen to Robert's thoughts on Elimination Chamber, since he wasn't here for that. We'll see you guys next time.
Turn on the lights, feel the beat. Wrestling tales can be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the Wrestle Heat. Our first one, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The sparks always high. Fights and myths, so we say. Heroes rise till and sway. In the ring, night and day. Wrestling talk, come and stay. Our birds fly, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The sparks always high. The mat crash and cheer. All the news you wanna hear. Wealth and fame always near. With the crew, have no fear. Our birds fly, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The sparks always high. catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the smarks always high. With the smarks always high. With the smarks always high.
Well, you got my reaction over text. I tried not to be specific because I know you guys were behind. But
Yes.
I was like, all I'm gonna say is, wait, what? I don't know.
Oh, he said
I don't know
thank you
what
for. He said thank you for that.
Oh, okay. I was like, I can't be too specific, but man, yeah, this WrestleMania build. I take back what I said about this being mid. It's definitely not that anymore.
Well,
I
think what made it so great is how Cena sold it.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Rock also did a good job, like with his facial expressions and all that. And of course, Cody is like the ultimate babyface, you know. So
Right.
it really worked like a charm. I actually thought Cody might turn heel, or I thought they might heel. But when Cena won, I thought, well, that's out the window. It won't be Punk. So. You know, but for some reason it never dawned on me to turn Cena heel in his last year.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, but in some ways it's genius because it's like, now when, right? Like this was going to be the last time to do it. But in some ways it's like, is he going to go out of heel? Some are saying he's still going to turn again before his career ends. I say probably because you really don't want him to go out as a heel. It's going to be weird, you know. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind it, honestly. I don't think it's the end of the world if he does.
Yeah, this would be really interesting how this plays out, to see how it plays out in the end. I don't think he's gonna finish the year as a heel, though. I think he's gonna turn back.
I mean,
at some point.
Smart money's on that. Yes,
Yeah,
I agree. But yeah, it was an incredible moment. It was truly an incredible. It was one of the. It was, I think I mentioned that it's like what we watch wrestling for, moments like that.
Right.
Situations like that. That's what we want to see, crazy stuff that happens like that. But what made it even so, it just made it so great is what you said, like you were making it part of the Michael Cole thing, but really I think it was supposed to be part of, we waited decades for this. He didn't turn heel. He didn't turn heel when he was supposed to.
Right.
But at least they did it. At least they did it now.
I heard he was ready and willing to turn heel a long time ago. I think either the first or second WrestleMania matchup with The Rock.
Yes, that's what he said.
It was gonna happen, but then Vince McMahon stopped it, and John Cena was cool with it, but whatever, so it didn't happen. So
yeah, I heard him say that before too, that he was going to turn heel during. I think you're right. I think it was Rock Cena 1. I want to say.
Yeah, I think it would have made more sense for the first one, but yeah.
Yeah, because since he was going over part 2, yeah, it made more sense the first one, yeah.